Welcome to Cybersecurity Awareness TV, episode number 433, recorded July 1st, 2023. My name is Mac Jackson Jr. I am your cybersecurity consultant and researcher. If this is the first time you have seen my show, we discuss cybersecurity awareness techniques. I have interviews and stories and news clips and reactions that you can use to protect yourself from the fastest growing crimes of the 21st century. I would like to thank everybody who's been part of our show and has helped support us here on WWDBTV. If you'd like to find out more about my channel and about what I do, you can find me on all the social media at MacJacksonJR.com. That's MacJacksonJR.com. Folks, remember to share, like, and subscribe. Thank you very much. In this week, we're going to talk about the evolving changes of the landscape of cybersecurity, the biggest news events right now that affects you, your business, especially if you're a small business owner, and if you're a parent. So definitely stay tuned. In our second segment, we have something to share with you that's absolutely amazing. It's coming up again. And of course, in our business strategy segment, we'll talk about ways that you can improve your productivity for your organization. But first, folks, in our first segment, as we've done in our show, we discuss cybersecurity as a major element and a part of our environment, and that there are hackers from around the world that are organized crime victims and nation states that are looking to try to take down our Western civilization. These menacing scammers and criminals are global, and they're looking for vulnerabilities in every aspect of our lives. We must do all that we can do to protect ourselves from these types of cyber attacks. Now, folks, this goes more than just telling you about this and you're relying on someone else to take care of this for you. Folks, we have to be able to stay aware of these events and help ourselves fight and combat against these types of cyber crimes. Our report this week, folks, talks about a story that we brought to you last week of a major cyber attack affecting the United States governmental agencies, and it concerns a software application called MoveIt. This software application, folks, had a major data breach. This particular application that I'm mentioning, folks, in our story is used by several thousand governmental agencies as well as commercial businesses too around the world. It was attacked and it was hacked into by cyber hackers and caused it to spread throughout the United States and globally. This cyber attack, what happened was that there were governmental and federal agencies that had their infrastructures, their hardware and software devices, such as Barracuda networks and other types of networks, infiltrated by this app that caused malware to spread that allowed the hackers to have unauthorized access to sensitive information. Now, this data breach totally violates the new standards formed by the Cybersecurity Infrastructure Security Agency, CISA. This breach affected approximately 13,000 hosts, servers, routers, endpoints, firewalls, and of course VPNs, making it hard to detect where the actual hackers are from or how much data that they were able to compromise. These guidelines put together by CISA, which is a governmental agency, it's like our internal that is, army of warriors that are protecting our infrastructures here in the U.S. that's used in a military level. This agency, CISA, is something we rely on as a nation and as a global infrastructure of combating these types of cyber threats. This violation of this software MoveIt is something that's ongoing being investigated, and it's causing a lot of havoc within the world of cybersecurity. Researchers in this world of cybersecurity have made significant discoveries regarding this particular attack and how it has affected infrastructure. The researchers have come up with several different ways that the hackers have penetrated the governmental firewalls using programs like this MoveIt software. There is an ongoing investigation, and agencies around the world are on alarm and on alert about this types of software to remove it from their systems and also to protect and back up their sensitive data and making sure that they're put in proper cybersecurity process procedures to make sure it doesn't spread any further. I have a story I'd like to share with you regarding this, reported to us by our friend at Cyber News, our friend AI Joe. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Joe, an AI that turns your attention into numbers, and here's some more news. The Move It hack just keeps on giving. The past few days saw even more companies and institutions admitting that their sensitive information was leaked. Just in case you forgot, the story started several weeks ago, when a vulnerability was discovered in the software of Move It, a popular file-sharing service. Clop, an infamous Russia-linked ransomware gang, used it to access astronomical amounts of data. Not all of the victims of the hack became clear immediately. They have been revealed bit by bit, almost every reveal making news. Last week, we saw the disclosure of the largest number of victims of the hack. Wilton Re, an American insurance company, exposed details of almost 1.5 million people through its compromised Move It files. At the same time, CalPERS Pension Fund also admitted that the data of nearly 770,000 of its customers was stolen. This week, Siemens Energy and the University of California were listed among the victims, although the scale of their leaked information is yet unknown. Another educational institution to be breached was the New York City Department of Education, which leaked the details of 4,000 to 5,000 students. And finally, life insurance company Talcott Resolution admitted that the data of 500,000 of its customers was leaked when Clop got their hands on the data of a third-party vendor, PBI Research Services. So that's the situation today. It is estimated that over 15 million people so far have been affected by the Move It hack, and the number keeps growing. The US government announced a $10 million reward for any information that could lead to the arrest of Clop members, but we are yet to see any of them being punished. And that's it for today. Check out my previous videos about the victims of this hack, and I will see you in the next one.
So folks, the question is, how does this cyber attack that has affected over 13,000 governmental agencies around the US affect you with your business? It affects you greatly, folks, because if they meaning the bad guys, can penetrate the fortress of the United States government agencies, they can come after the small business owner as well. So it is critical that you and your small business take heed of some recommendations that cybersecurity experts like myself and others have recommendations that we're going to present to you here, ways to protect yourself. One of the first ones is conduct regular vulnerability assessments and patch management. Now you may listen to that, and I've heard my clients say that, and they'll say, well great, I have my IT company, they'll take care of that for me. Folks, it's more than just the IT department. It is your whole IT governance within your organization. We cannot transfer risk. This is not like car insurance or business insurance, folks. We have to take ownership of our responsibilities and our roles in the cyber war. And therefore, there are things that we can do individually within our organizations to conduct vulnerability and assessments and patch management internally to make sure that we have the latest updates, that we understand that we understand our value of our inventory of the cyber data and make sure that it's protected. Second is adopt zero trust architecture. Now that sounds very technical, but basically, folks, what we're talking about there is be suspicious of all types of entities that are affecting your network, such as users with access and privilege to certain areas, installing applications, all of that. Hardware that you've brought into your organization, make sure that you have multi-factor authentication or some kind of password privileges and controls set in. It's very, very important to do this. But the biggest one, folks, and the ones that you can do today, is to maintain proper education of your employees with cybersecurity awareness training and best practices. These are things that you can do, and by conducting these best practices efforts within your organizations, you can protect your business from these types of cyber attacks. Remember, folks, cybersecurity is an ongoing process and requires a continuous monitoring, proactive measuring, and adopting strategies. By implementing these recommendations, you can significantly enhance your organization's resilience and protect yourself against potential threats involving the data landscapes of your company. In our next story, we're going to discuss another major attack in an energy company. A couple years ago, we had an attack with the Colonial Pipeline here in the United States that affects the East Coast, where fueling stations could not produce gas for their customers, causing havoc on the East Coast because there was a cyber attack with a company called Colonial Pipeline. Well, in the last few days, there's been another attack, but not here in the US, but up north in Canada. The Canadian company called Suncor had a major cyber attack that affected their energy and gas stations across the country of Canada. This caused very much a strong disruption in the servicing of their customers and producing gas. This is definitely a vulnerability, and it's critical, folks, that we all are aware of this, and companies must maintain a collaboration with each other to see what the other company do, how they fortify and strengthen their fortress, if you would. It must be done both Canadian and around the country as well, around the world, that is. I have a story to share to you about this incident as it happened this week, and it comes to us from CTV News in Canada.
Some Petro-Canada customers were left stranded at the pumps today when they discovered hundreds of locations across the country were only accepting cash. That's because a crippling cyber attack shut down most of parent company Suncor's digital services, including debit machines. And as Alberta Bureau Chief Bill Fortier reports, neither the culprit nor a solution is clear.
For a fourth day frustration while fueling up.
Car's not working.
As part of a wider attack on parent company Suncor Energy, many Petro-Canada pumps across the country have been cash only.
And they charged me $3 to get the cash. Thought they could give me a free coffee, but they didn't.
This is just an inconvenience, but it's not freaking me out yet.
Customers have also been unable to log into their PetroPoints accounts online. In a news release, the company says, at this time, we are not aware of any evidence that customer, supplier, or employee data has been compromised.
I think we should get after the guys, the cyber guys, eh? We should get after that.
The group behind the attack is not known, neither is the motivation. But just last week, Canada's Cyber Intelligence Agency warned the oil and gas industry is increasingly at risk of cyber attacks, mainly by criminals looking to cash in, but also by state-funded hackers looking for geopolitical gain.
So this seems like it's a pretty significant breach.
This cybersecurity expert says many large companies are increasingly turning to AI to better protect their systems against attacks, but so are hackers.
So it is a game of cat and mouse or whack-a-mole. You figure one issue out and two more pop up.
The Suncor incident is the latest in what's already been a bad year. In February, bookstore chain Indigo also saw its card processing system shut down by a hacker attack. In January, Ontario's Liquor Control Board was targeted. Hackers broke in with code designed to steal customer information. As for the Suncor attack, the company hasn't said when it expects the problems to be fixed. We requested more information and an interview, but did not receive a response. Bill Fortier, CTV News, Edmonton.
Now, folks, these instances and developments from Canada now, as well as Colonial Pipeline here in the U.S., emphasize the evolving landscape of technology, cybersecurity risk, and business competition, if you would, with these threats of attacks. Businesses, particularly the industry sector, like Suncor, must safeguard their operations and their customers' experiences while adopting an industry standard that can help them combat it against these types of cyber attacks. And this has to do with collaboration. So that's what's going on now. A lot of these companies, they've done this for years, but now they're turning up their collaboration efforts and talking about this, developing strategies to defend themselves against these types of attacks. As we've stated on our show all the time, folks, here at Cybersecurity Awareness TV, hackers are always looking for vulnerabilities within the infrastructure of the West as well as the global society. In trying to bring it down, we must stay vigilant and stay aware of these types of attacks. Like we say on the show all the time, hashtag stay cyberwoke. Folks, we'll be back after these messages.
Hi, I'm Judy Morio. I invite you to watch my show, What's Your Story with Judy Morio on WWDBTV, where I interview celebrities, doctors, authors, professional speakers, and just plain folks like you and me. So watch my show and also watch some of the other great shows that we have here on WWDB-TV, and you can also find us on Roku.
With our award-winning patented Ultimate 3-in-1, packed wrinkle-free in our innovative garment bag, generous duffel, and all-purpose day pack for incredible versatility. Experience easy wrinkle-free packing with quick access to travel essentials. Exclusively ours, an extension pocket for longer items or additional storage. Avoid check-in fees and lost luggage with our patented wraparound garment bag and duffel for a single carry-on. Easily hang the garment bag at your destination and use our duffel as a pop-up drawer. Back at home, the duffel and garment bag fold neatly into the day pack for compact storage. Travel smarter and simpler with Ultimate Luggage.
Hi folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Matt Jackson Jr. In our segment, we're talking about the FBI files and warnings. Folks, on our show, Cybersecurity Awareness TV, we have brought up this story to you several times a few months ago, and it is regarding a scamming of our children. It is called the sextortion. Yes, like extortion, they call it sextortion, where young folks are scammed to believe that X-rated photos of them are to be used to get them to do things that they would more likely would ever do. Folks, the FBI has warned again here at the end of June, beginning of July of 2023, that this scam is on the increase. It is rising. So I'm bringing this story to you again where we can talk to our children and you talk to your friends and family and let them know that this scam is something that we need to keep awareness of and keep our children involved in the education of what's going on. We need to stay vigilant, folks. Spread this awareness and keep an open line of communications to safeguard our kids from these types of attacks. I have a story here, again, brand new, that I want to share with you, coming to us from KCAL News. Here it is.
Earlier this month, the FBI put out a warning about a scam that's on the rise, targeting victims with sextortion. On your sites, Christine Lazar joins us now with how it works. You know, I hadn't even heard this term before, so.
Yeah, well, you know, what's hard with this scam, we talk so often about losing money, but people are actually losing their lives over this scam. And the targets are, you know, something we know well, young boys, right? Sextortion is when someone coerces victims into sharing intimate photos of themselves and then threatens to release those photos publicly or to family and friends unless they pay a ransom. A cybersecurity expert we talked to said the most common group to be targeted are young boys, mostly teens, but some as young as 10 years old. Now, what usually happens is that these victims are contacted via social media by someone posing as a crush or love interest. They then ask for intimate photos, and then once they have them, they threaten to release them unless they are paid hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Nationwide, we have seen about a dozen suicides linked to these scams. Do these scammers typically make good on their threats?
From what I have seen, no. In fact, I've heard anecdotally time and time again that if you simply break off all contact with the scammer at the first moment that they try to extort money out of you, they go away. They don't contact you again. For them, it's a numbers game and it's a business.
There are steps you can take to protect your children and yourself. Well, talk to your teens about this scam so they don't fall victim to it. Make them aware they need to come to you even if they are embarrassed. Run frequent online searches of your child so you can see what kind of personal information is readily available. Scammers will use that personal info to gain their trust. Add privacy settings to social media accounts and don't respond directly to inbound messages for requests. The rule is if it's inbound, don't give out any personal information. Verify that person before engaging. And another form of sextortion is when the scammer says they have hacked your computer or phone and they have compromising photos of you, and they will release them unless you pay up. Well, experts say they're usually bluffing, so just ignore and report. Do not pay. And if your child, your teenage boy or girl is involved in something like this, you want to contact the police, because this is illegal. You're talking about photos of a minor, and I can't stress enough, a lot of people think, well, that's not going to happen to my child, or I don't want to talk about sex with my teen. Look, they need to know that the worst thing could be to not talk to you. That's where they could really, feel the effects, and we've seen suicides because they thought, I can't tell my parents. The only thing I can do is to end my life, and the most important thing is to come to us, because, as you know, we'll do anything for our kids, and we can tell them, look, they're not going to do anything with these photos. You just need to ignore them and move on.
Yes, exactly. Well, great advice. Thanks so much, Christine.
And folks, as a cybersecurity consultant and researcher, and friends and family with children, I have friends and family with children. I want to share with you some recommendations that I would suggest you would do. I'm sure that these you've heard before, but let's go over these again and share them with your friends as well. The first one, folks, definitely have deep communication with your children. Foster an open, honest communication with your children. Encourage them to talk about their online activities. Be involved with what they're doing. Kids are on TikTok right now. They're on Twitch. They're on all these types of social media applications. Be involved about what's going on, folks. It is absolutely incredible out there. Definitely a wild, wild west in our generation, we used to call it. It's like that on the internet now. Educate about online risk. Talk to your children about the different types of vulnerabilities that are out there and the prevalence of this world of the internet. And one of them I'm going to bring up to you now, and it's called OnlyFans. Yes, folks, OnlyFans. A lot of you have heard of this OnlyFans out there, and a lot of the young women, especially young girls that are 17, 18, or turning 18 years old, are getting on this OnlyFans bandwagon to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, because they are hearing they can make lots of money from these types of websites doing explicit adult entertainment. Let me tell you, to the parents, definitely discourage this from our children, especially our young women, because they're doing it now for the perceived idea of the money. But I'm telling you, if your child, your daughter were to come to apply for a job at my cybersecurity company or any cybersecurity or major corporation, they more likely will not be hired because of their past conduct being a part of this type of immoral activities. So folks, like we always say all the time, when you take something on, put something on the internet, it's there forever. It doesn't go away. Definitely talk to your children, talk to your friends and family about this. It's very, very, very important. Secondly, promote responsible behavior online. Like I said before, making sure you don't put anything on the internet that you do not wish to embarrass your friends or family or your reputation. It's very, very important. Parents also monitor activity of their children, of what they're doing, and there's software programs, applications that we could talk about. You can contact my company about the types of programs you can have to monitor your activities. Especially now, there's lots of things that are going on. I did a story a few months ago with our local news here in Las Vegas with the DEA on how emojis are being used for drug transactions, and kids are using these types of techniques to get past parents monitoring. And encourage reporting. Folks, there's an old saying that says, snitches will get stitches, right? Says in the hood. Folks, on the internet, it's not true. You got to convince and talk to your children. If they see something, say something. If something out there that's illicit, do not consent by silence. Definitely talk about it. It's important that we must maintain this, because that whole statement, snitches will get stitches, that's a cybersecurity vulnerability. That makes you vulnerable for an attack. Please, folks, remember to maintain supportive, non-judgmental relationships with your children. It is very, very critical. So folks, like we always say on our show here, Cybersecurity Awareness TV, hashtag Stay Cyberwoke. We'll be back after these messages.
Hi everybody, Aaron Phillips here, inviting you to join me every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. right here on Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV on my show, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips. I bring to you the movers and shakers of Las Vegas and really all around the world. It's also fun, entertaining, silly, goofy, informative, everything you'd want to be entertained by on a Saturday, except no politics, No religion. As I said, it's designed to be a fun show. Remember, that's every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. Pacific, right here, Aaron's Hour, Worldwide Digital Broadcasting TV.
Hello folks, this is Mac Jackson Jr. from Vanderson Cyber Group. The problem with businesses today is that they are affected by cyber attacks from around the world, but companies are not sure of what to do. Normally, they are reactive instead of proactive. But folks, cyber attacks can affect your bottom line, and it will affect you financially, legally, and your business reputation. Here at Vanderson Cyber Group, we can help you develop a policy by training your employees on what to do if they are involved in a cyber attack and how to mitigate it and fight against it. Folks, we call it here #StayCyberWoke. And that's Vanderson Cyber Group here in Las Vegas and around the world. You can reach me, folks, at VandersonCyberGroup.com or my website, MacJacksonJr.com as well. Here locally, 702-868-0808. Give us a call today, folks. We must fight back. Hi folks, welcome back to Cybersecurity Awareness TV. I'm your host, Mac Jackson Jr. In this segment, we're talking about business productivity and security. Folks, one of the programs that my company, Vanderson Cyber Group, that's my consulting company, what we are really excited about, we've done now for a couple of years with our clients, is develop a program called Business Team Building. In this program of business team building, we provide exercises surrounding cybersecurity for corporations and companies. This has been very productive and we're really excited about this, and I wanted to share this with you. Some of the key benefits of this types of team building activities, including fostering enhancing employees' knowledge and understanding of cybersecurity. In other words, folks, rather than having your employees just sit behind a monitor and take a cybersecurity phishing test, they actually are working with their cohorts within the organization. This can develop a cohesion of collaboration with each other in the organizations, and we make sure that is geared around the company's objectives and policies within the company, right? So what we do is that we devise activities on what to look for when it comes to a spam email, when it comes to a phone call that may have come in from customer support of the organization, when you may have an activity of an individual trying to enter the building that may not have authorization. We go through these activities physically, one-on-one, as a group, right, with the entire group, where they understand the value of responsibility and role-playing when it comes to cybersecurity awareness. And large corporations are starting to do this. Everyone from Netflix to Apple to Google. This is something now, folks, that enhances the culture of cybersecurity within the workplace of organizations. And I definitely invite you in your company to take a look at these types of activities called team building exercises. And again, they're used to increase the culture of cybersecurity within the organization, and it highlights the importance of employees' communications and collaborations with each other to be more proactive to identify any suspicious types of activities. And again, this process can highlight all of the types of vulnerabilities that your company can be exposed to, and we're actually talking about it in a group versus individually, because folks, when you're individually one person, you have hackers that are multi-level trying to attack one individual within the company. Now, as a group, the hackers are not attacking one person. Now they would have to deal with the whole entire company. And by doing this, we can combat and mitigate a lot of these types of cyber threats that are out there. So folks, again, incorporating team building exercises will focus your company on cybersecurity awareness for your corporation, providing a huge amount of benefits to your organization. fostering a secure work environment, nurturing a positive culture. These exercises is a great value investment for the overall serenity and resilience of a productive workplace within your organization, folks. And if you want to find out more, definitely contact my company, Vanderson Cyber Group, for more information on this type of team building activity. Again, my name is Mac Jackson. Hope you got a lot out of our show this week. We have more for you next week, folks. Until then, we'll see you then.